Elvis Presley was the king of rock and roll, but even kings have hearts that can be touched. Behind his fame, lights, and powerful voice was a man who felt deeply. He loved voices that told stories, voices that made him feel less alone. These 6 female singers were not just stars to him, they were special. Their songs healed his pain, gave him peace, and made him fall in love with music all over again. This is not just a list of singers. This is a journey into the emotions, memories, and deep love Elvis had for these amazing women. Before we dive into video, please subscribe to our channel and where you are watching from. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in a small 2-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi. His family was very poor, and life was full of challenges from the very beginning. Elvis had a twin brother named Jesse Garon Presley, who was stillborn. Losing his twin left a deep emptiness in Elvis' heart, and many believe he carried that pain with him for the rest of his life. His parents, Vernon and Gladys Presley, were loving but struggled to make ends meet. Vernon often had trouble keeping steady work, and the family moved often in search of better opportunities. Gladys was the center of Elvis's world. She protected him fiercely and stayed close to him as he grew older. Their bond was so strong that her death in 1958 shattered Elvis emotionally. As a child, Elvis was shy and quiet. He loved going to church, where gospel music filled his soul. Music became his safe place. He listened to gospel, country, and blues, each genre shaping his unique style. He got his first guitar at age 11, but he did not learn quickly. Still, he never gave up. When Elvis was a teenager, his family moved to Memphis, Tennessee. Life was still hard, but the city opened new doors. He worked odd jobs to help out, and often spent hours listening to music and dreaming of a better life. He was bullied in school for his clothes and quiet nature, but music gave him confidence. His first big break came in 1954 when he recorded a song at Sun Studio. People instantly noticed something special in his voice and style. From there, the journey began, but behind every smile was a boy who had known loss, struggle, and deep longing. Now we talk about 6 singers he loved the most, and the reason behind this will shock you. Number 1, Patsy Cline. Elvis Presley admired many singers, but Patsy Cline held a very special place in his heart. Known for her deep emotional voice, Patsy sang with raw honesty. Her songs felt like they came from a wounded soul, something Elvis deeply related to. Patsy did not just sing, she poured her heart into every word. Her song Crazy was one of Elvis's favorites. He once said that her voice had a haunting beauty, like it was filled with memories that would never fade. Listening to her made him feel understood. He saw in her the same loneliness, heartbreak, and strength that he carried inside himself. Like Elvis, Patsy came from a humble background. She faced rejection early in her career and had to fight to be taken seriously as a female artist in a male-dominated world. That fight, that fire, made Elvis respect her even more. He loved singers who had soul, and Patsy had soul in every note. Even though they never performed together, Elvis often praised her talent privately and in interviews. When Patsy died in a tragic plane crash in 1963, Elvis was heartbroken. He said the world had lost one of the truest voices it had ever known. To Elvis, Patsy Cline was more than a singer. She was a reflection of the kind of music he believed in, real, emotional, and unforgettable. Her voice lived inside him like an echo, one he carried with quiet admiration until his final days. Number 2, Margaret. When Elvis Presley met Margaret, it was like fire meeting fire. She was not just a beautiful actress and singer, she was electric. Their chemistry was instant, and it was more than just attraction. They understood each other on a deep, unspoken level. They met in 1963 while filming Viva Las Vegas. From the very first scene, sparks flew. On set, they danced, laughed, and sang together with perfect rhythm. Off set, their bond grew stronger. Margaret had the same passion for music, the same energy on stage, and the same hunger for life that Elvis had. He once said she was the only woman who truly matched his spirit. Elvis loved her voice soft, yet powerful, playful, yet serious. Her performances reminded him of himself. She gave everything when she sang, just like he did. Margaret was not afraid to be bold, and that confidence made Elvis admire her even more. Their relationship was full of excitement, but also pain. Elvis was already in a complicated relationship with Priscilla, and his image as a clean-cut idol stood in the way of being with Margaret freely. Still, they stayed close friends for years. She never spoke badly about him, even after his death, always calling him her soulmate. To Elvis, Margaret was more than a co-star or lover. She was a mirror. She reminded him of who he was and who he wanted to be. Their connection was rare, passionate, and unforgettable, just like their music. Number 3. Mahalia Jackson. Elvis Presley grew up surrounded by gospel music, and no gospel voice touched him more deeply than Mahalia Jackson. She was known as the Queen of Gospel, and to Elvis, she was a spiritual guide through sound. Her voice was powerful, rich with emotion, and filled with faith. Every note she sang felt like a prayer, and that moved Elvis in a way few others could. As a child, Elvis often went to church with his mother, where gospel choirs lit a fire in his soul. Mahalia's music brought back those memories. When he listened to her, he was no longer the global superstar. He was just a boy again, sitting in a small church, feeling safe and loved. Elvis once said, "Gospel was the purest kind of music." It was his comfort, his escape, and his truth. Mahalia's songs gave him strength during hard times, especially during personal losses and heartbreak. Her version of "Take My Hand, Precious Lord" was one of his favorites, and he often played it in private moments when he needed peace. Though they never performed together, Elvis held her in the highest respect. He saw her not just as a singer, but as a spiritual force. Her music helped him stay grounded in a world that often pulled him too high, too fast. To Elvis, Mahalia Jackson was not just a voice, she was a blessing. Her songs lifted his soul and reminded him of what truly mattered: faith, love, and inner peace. Number 4. Dela Ree. Elvis Presley admired artists who could sing with true emotion, and Dela Ree was one of those rare voices. She was powerful, elegant, and unforgettable. Known for her ability to move between gospel, jazz, and pop with ease, Dela's voice had both strength and tenderness. Elvis loved that about her. He believed she could sing anything and make it feel personal. Dela started her career in gospel, just like Elvis. That shared beginning made him feel connected to her music. He once said that she had music in her blood. When Dela sang, it was not just performance, it was storytelling. Each song felt alive with emotion, and Elvis respected that deeply. What truly drew Elvis to Dela was her soul. Whether she was singing a joyful tune or a heartbreaking ballad, she sang with honesty. She was not afraid to be bold, and her confidence shined through her voice. Elvis loved female singers who were fearless, and Dela was exactly that. Though they never worked together, Elvis followed her career closely. He admired how she balanced her music with her later success in acting. She never stopped growing, never stopped reaching new heights, and that inspired him. To Elvis, Dela Ree represented what a true artist should be: versatile, emotional, and deeply connected to the music. Her voice spoke to his heart, reminding him of where he came from and what he believed music should always be: real, human, and full of soul. Number 5. Connie Francis. Elvis Presley had a deep appreciation for voices that carried emotion, and Connie Francis was one of the few who truly moved him. Her voice had a gentle sadness that touched people. It was soft, emotional, and filled with longing. Elvis once described her voice as pure feeling, the kind that made you stop and listen. Connie became famous in the late 1950s with hits like "Who's Sorry Now" and "Where the Boys Are." Her songs often spoke of heartbreak, loneliness, and hope. To Elvis, her music was not just entertainment, it was comfort. He felt that Connie could turn pain into beauty with her voice. What made Connie special to Elvis was her vulnerability. She did not try to hide her emotions behind flashy music. Instead, she let them shine through, even the sad ones. Elvis understood that kind of honesty. He lived with pressure and pain, even while smiling on stage. Connie's songs reminded him that it was okay to feel broken sometimes. They never had a romantic relationship, but Elvis admired her deeply. He once told a friend that Connie's voice sounded like someone reading a letter they never meant to send. That kind of quiet, emotional power stayed with him. To Elvis, Connie Francis was not just a pop star. She was a voice of sincerity in a noisy world. Her music helped him feel less alone, and that made her unforgettable in his eyes, one of the few voices that truly whispered to his heart. Number 6. Brenda Lee. To Elvis Presley, talent had nothing to do with size. and Brenda Lee proved that better than anyone. Standing just 4 feet 9 inches tall, she had a voice so big, so bold, it could shake an entire room. Elvis was amazed the first time he heard her sing. He called her the little girl with the giant voice, and he meant it with total admiration. Brenda started singing at a young age and quickly became a star with hits like I'm Sorry and Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Her voice carried emotion far beyond her years. She could go from soft and sweet to powerful and fierce in a single breath. Elvis loved that range. He respected artists who poured their hearts into every line, and Brenda did just that. What truly impressed Elvis was how Brenda stayed true to herself. In a world where image mattered more than soul, she led with her voice. Her raw power and pure delivery reminded him of what music was meant to be: real, emotional, and unfiltered. Elvis and Brenda performed at some of the same shows early in their careers. He watched her rise and often cheered her on from behind the scenes. Though they were never close friends, Elvis saw her as a true artist with rare gifts. To Elvis, Brenda Lee was a shining example of how greatness could come in small, powerful packages. Her voice left a lasting mark on his heart, full of soul, strength, and timeless charm. Elvis Presley may have been the king of rock and roll, but his heart beat in tune with powerful female voices. These 6 women, Patsy Cline, Margaret, Mahalia Jackson, Dela Ree, Connie Francis, and Brenda Lee, were not just singers to him. They were symbols of strength, emotion, and truth. Each one touched a different part of his soul, reminding him of where he came from and what truly mattered. Through their voices, he found comfort, inspiration, and love. In honoring them, we see a softer side of Elvis, the man behind the legend, guided by music and the women who sang it.